Welcome to Discovering. Well, here it is, folks. It's the first snowfall of the season. But tonight's show takes place back when we were at peak fall color, and I have a full show of upland bird hunting for you tonight.
Michigan is where my heart's at. This is my favorite place up here in the Upper Peninsula of just about anywhere in the world. But it is also absolute superb ruffed grouse and woodcock hunting.
So sit back and relax. It's Monday night, and it's time for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forests thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill, the eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
From reports I've heard, upland bird hunting has been good across the UP this season. The second week of October, I met up with Gabe Stone, Regional Engagement Coordinator for the Ruffed Grouse Society and American Woodcock Society, and his father Brent for a beautiful fall day of bird hunting in the central UP.
Wherever he's at, this is my father, Brent. We've been coming up here in the UP. This is our what? Fourth annual grouse camp. We try to do this week a year, Dad?
Yes.
Spend some time together. Usually my brother, one of my other friends, get some time to come out with us as well, but unfortunately just family, busy lives that people live. It's just Dad and I today.
And as you would expect of someone who works for the Ruffed Grouse Society, Gabe is extremely passionate and knowledgeable about upland bird hunting.
That's Josie. She is 4.5-year-old Llewellyn setter, and I like to think she's a hell of a grouse dog. So we're gonna go down here a little bit and then cut off to the left and kind of meander. Josie's a lot slower, methodical, cautious dog. So she'll be a slower creep through this thicker stuff that we can stay on top of her or stay with her a lot better. So we'll kind of get down here, send her in, and let her lead us. So that's scent. So see how her tail's moving? She's obviously stopped. This is going to be a sequence of a track once I kind of get up to her. But she's sitting there and her mouth's going, and she's just effectively eating scent right now. So let's see where this leads us. Josie. That kissing noise is her release. There was one here. Okay. Josie does not want to get out of Dodge here. Come on. They're Llewellyn setters. They're closer working, but they're tracking style dogs. Bred specifically for ruffed grouse, which is a very, very cagey, for lack of a bunch of other words, game bird. That can wild flush, that up here in the UP they are known to run a ton. Every time they go on point does not mean there's going to be a bird in front of them, and quite frequently it becomes a sequence of what I like to say kind of cat and mouse or cat and grouse in our case, where it's a point track where the bird is running, trying to evade the dog, and we're playing kind of leapfrog to catch up with the dog, and hopefully at all points ends with the bird flushing. Ideally, they would like to just give you the slip without flying. And we're trying to get them to fly. Josie, woodcock! I cannot believe I missed that bird. Yeah.
September and October were very dry and warm in most parts of the UP, and this day was no exception.
Yeah. Oh, name of the game is water. Like a lot of this, you can tell by the topography of the ground. In past seasons has been wet. Actually, standing water. I usually always hunt in rubber boots, and this whole season I've been hunting in regular lace-ups. Finding water, edges of water. And it doesn't have to necessarily be standing water, but just moisture on the ground for both ruffed grouse and woodcock, especially more so for woodcock, that long beak. They use that to probe the earth. Their diet is made up of almost entirely earthworms. They eat other insects here and there and kind of a little bit of what they can find, but almost entirely earthworms. And you have to imagine, it's kind of a soft beak. Hopefully we get one today and can show you. But it's not rock solid, and if you had to drive that and probe it into really dry soil, probably wouldn't be very fun for them. So they're really reliant on, again, it doesn't have to be standing water, your feet don't have to be wet, but an element of moisture is going to be very, very important for those birds. And the ruffed grouse as well. So when I'm grouse hunting, there's 1,000 different things you're looking for, food sources, this, that, the other, water, like I just said. But even where we're at right now, is all birds, game birds, specifically ruffed grouse, are edge birds. If you don't necessarily know what a great habitat looks like, identifying, you know, the specifics, that's a point up there. We'll chase that in a second. The specific food sources, etc., you can always just simply hunt different edges. Edges of older growth to younger growth, of pine stands to aspen, of hardwoods to a swamp, whatever it is. And then there's micro edges within edges. So behind me is an aspen cut, which is about perfect age. But even where we're at right here, there's an aspen cut right to the right. There's some aspen over there. But this is an old logging trail or something that provides a micro edge within the edge of the cover itself. So now let's go follow up on this point. Their number one predation is avian. So goshawks, raptors, stuff from above. So they always like to have this canopy of cover above them from protecting a dive bombing raptor. This is hazel. These little buds are catkins. This is grouse food. End of story. After, we're not quite there yet, second week of October. You know, we're in a cut, so there's not a lot of greenery here, but there's still a lot of greenery. There's little strawberry leaves on your trails, etc. Grouse, think of us going into winter, right? The end of the season, we're eating all our fresh foods, our fresh tomatoes, it's great. And then here comes the snow, it's getting colder, and it's like we're switching on to a potato diet, right? And we kind of crave those fresh veggies and greens and whatever. Grouse do the same thing. Into the winter, the last little bits of greenery, raspberry leaves, strawberry leaves, clovers, young 6 foot, 5 foot tall aspen will hold their leaves and hold the green leaves later. They love eating those. But after that, and we're at the point where they're transitioning. I shot a bird the other day that was just filled with hazel catkins. But so you can see they're kind of, fibrous, but at this time of year they're green, kind of chewy. In the late season, from now, November, December, in the UP, when I'm hunting, if it does not have a component of hazel or a component of conifer, I do not hunt it. See, like this mix of conifer in the aspen stand, it's exactly what we're looking for, minus the birds.
To me, it's just being out here and actually fun of getting a shot off sometimes, That's all I need.
Gabe and Brent had saved this spot to hunt until today when I was with them, since they have had a lot of success here in the past, but the birds had other plans. So we moved to another spot closer to water.
Hundreds of them.
Hundreds?
Yeah, hundreds.
Make up for lost time, right?
We got a different dog, huh?
Yes, so this is Lila. Lila is 2.5 years old. Like Josie was, they're both Llewellyn setters. She's a much quicker hunter. She's still a tracking style dog, so it's point track if the bird's not right there in front of her. But the whole process, the whole sequence is a lot more sped up in between things. Not that she's not more cautious, she's just quicker and has a little bit more gas in the tank. So
Not long after we jumped into the woods, Lila was on point.
she's on point right there. I heard one go up in front of us. She's on point right there. So keep going. There very likely could be another one. Lila, whoa. Point. 60 feet. She's up there. If you have a lane here or there.
Gabe went one way, I went the other, and
Dead bird! Oh, and the woodcock! Good girl! There we go. Oh, I missed. Yeah. Lila, dead bird. Dead bird. Good girl. Come here, sweets. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Beautiful little bird. That's this year's bird. Nice little fan. So you can sex them. These rump feathers. One spot. That's a female bird.
you tell it's a female by the spots?
Yep, males have 2 spots.
Nice.
And we had a woodcock flush right with it.
Really?
Yep, right with it. He went up, bang, and then the woodcock went right over top of us as well. If you can see, she's like entirely on the ground. Since we're recording this, it probably won't happen, but the closer they are to the ground, generally the closer the bird is to them. So without going into scent theory and the whole 9 yards, she has more scent. She hits the ground, being cautious. Likely there's a bird in front of her, probably a woodcock. There certainly was a bird here. There we go, another point. Let her work a little bit. There he goes. Nope. Got that spruce tree though. That's grouse hunting. I got hung up on this one. Okay. Yep, right here. Woodcock! Wow. Man, we can't kill a woodcock to save our lives today.
Get it?
No. But blowdown. Yeah. Yeah, that bird was right there under this base of this blowdown. Flew up an acrobat starship. Come on, Lila. Cool. All right. Ruffed grouse will humble just about anybody. They love blowdowns, or like we're in Aspen, we're on the edge here. Then this creates this little pocket of cover. Imagine if you're a little bird. You feel much more protected in that. Pockets of conifers or like a blowdown pile of trees, logs. There it goes! Good girl.
I don't think I got it.
No. That was the thunder.
Yeah, he came out of, if I would have stayed there, by the time he, right after he knocked me down.
Good girl, Lila. Good girl.
Where'd it come up at?
Right there.
Right here?
Yeah. Cool.
That was fun.
That was fun. That's what we're here for. Good job, Lila. It's a pretty point, Lila. I'm gonna swing out. Dead bird! That's a bigger bird. Yep. Yeah, he was right That bird was tucked in under this log, and she was sitting about 8 feet away from him. That's a happy dog. That's a pretty bird. Good girl. Come here. Come here. Good girl. Oh, hey, hey, hey. That is we lost some of it. That is a monster bird. We lost some of these, which happens when you get shot. But that is a beautiful, beautiful, big, mature grouse. So that 2 spots, that's a male. That's a big male. And it's ruffs, that's where they get the name ruffed grouse. It's not ruffled, but those big feathers, those black feathers there, well, they're very territorial bird. Those will pop up, very similar to that, and he'll strut his stuff and flick his tail, but those ruffs will puff right up. He's the boss around here. And that is why, amongst many other things, they're commonly referred to as the king of the uplands, or the king of the forest. Just a beautiful, beautiful bird. The difference in size. This guy's like that. This guy's is all day twice the size of that. It's what's fun about ruffed grouse hunting is every one of them is a trophy. And I think you gave that one a little loving too. Yeah, you little water grouse dog. Especially when it's warm. I like hunting by water sources, good water sources, ideally. One, you know, for the birds and your success, but also for the dogs. They get hot. Good deal. I cannot kill a woodcock to save my life today. And I got a tree. Did you get that on camera? Yeah. See, there's the top of the tree that used to be. Oh, I see. Straight into the tree. 50 yards up.
We saw a lot of woodcock on this day, and finally everything came together to give us a good shot on this one. Oh, there.
Okay, got a woodcock after 4 attempts. Good girl. Good girl. This dog is a little super retriever. Oh, that's a good girl. Yes, thank you, babe. Beautiful woodcock. That's a big one. The females are bigger than the males. This is going to be a female for sure. One trick you can do is a dollar bill test. So I don't have one with me right now, but you take a dollar bill and you put it in their beak, and if the beak extends past the dollar bill, it's a female. Beautiful bird. So as I showed you earlier, the ruffed grouse have a tail fan. A lot of people don't know that woodcock have tail fans. They're much smaller, but beautiful, all their own. So you can see, it's a beautiful little fan. They use them for mating displays when they're painting or doing their sky dances in the spring. We call the ruffed grouse the king of the game birds, and the woodcock or timberdoodle or mudbat or bog sucker, whatever you want to call them, the prince of the uplands as well. And obviously I work for the Ruffed Grouse Society. 2024 is a really special year for us because it's a 10-year anniversary. Lila really wants us to go shoot that bird. It's the 10-year anniversary of the American woodcock. So, beautiful bird. Let's go see if she's got another one. Where you at, Pops?
That was all the birds that hit the ground. Gabe and Brent did have a couple more shots after that woodcock. I would call it a pretty good day in the birdwoods. As we mentioned earlier, Gabe works for the Ruffed Grouse Society.
So I am the regional engagement coordinator for the Ruffed Grouse Society and American Woodcock Society here in the great state of Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Thanks, Josie. But previously, I've been with RGS for about 3 years now. Previously, I was the coordinator in Wisconsin in the western Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So Ruffed Grouse Society and American Woodcock Society, we are a member-based organization like a lot of other conservation groups. We have various different memberships, but all the way down $35 level. Folks get magazines, we get invited to local chapter events. Here in the UP of Michigan, we have a handful of chapters. We have one in St. Ignace. We have a chapter that's in the process of being restarted not too far away from here in Marquette, which is my favorite city in the whole state. We have a chapter in Ironwood. We have a chapter in Iron Mountain. And we also have an excellent chapter in the Keweenaw, our Houghton chapter. And that's an AWS chapter, not a Ruffed Grouse Society chapter. So shout out to them for 10 years of the American Woodcock. But if anybody has any interest of joining, I encourage, my dream as a ruffed grouse hunter is to get everybody that hunts ruffed grouse and American woodcock to become members. If that was the case, we would have such a strong forward-facing power in conservation to deliver the type of habitat that these birds need in a multitude of states. So every membership matters. It's a great place for community, camaraderie, meeting like-minded folks and individuals. Anybody that's interested in volunteering, they can get a hold of myself or other contacts on our website at ruffedgrousesociety.org. And I would encourage everybody that is a hunter of ruffed grouse and woodcock to become a member.
That's all for tonight, and I hope to see you right back here next week for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.